Welcome to CBN4's Primetime News Package. Here's a look at the headlines for today. Dominica and India has signed an International Solar Alliance Framework Agreement. The USVI governor extends a state of emergency until April 3rd, 2018. And International Women's Day, millions join Spain in a strike. Hi, I am Ali and Christopher. Stay tuned for these and other stories right here on CBN4.
L'année sim tout partout. Attention si vous êtes homme et bien femme. Visitez place santé pour examiner corps. Ça c'est un nick pour yo ouais si l'année pièce moun au lion qui ni maladie TB et bien maladie sexuelle. En compagnie moun qui ni maladie HIV P ni TB aussi. Savent qui l'année guérison pour TB. Ou ça vivre en bonne santé même si ou ni maladie HIV. Parlez by docteur. Prends responsabilité ou. Aidez du bout de maladie TB et HIV. Pour agir tout le monde pour examiner corps yo.
And welcome back. The government of Dominica and India has signed an International Solar Alliance Framework Agreement. The International Solar Alliance is a treaty-based international intergovernmental alliance of 121 solar resource-rich countries. It is conceived as a coalition of solar resource-rich countries to address their special energy needs and provide a platform to collaborate and addressing the identified gaps through a common agreed approach. Minister for Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, Honorable Francine Baron, stated that Dominica joins 46 other United Nations member countries in signing the framework agreement of the International Solar Alliance, becoming the third Caribbean country to be a founding member of this important initiative.
Ladies and gentlemen, in seeking to reduce our dependence on high-cost fossil fuels, we have always supported the idea of focusing on a viable mix of clean energy sources, hydro, geothermal, and solar. Through our membership of the International Solar Alliance, we expect that we will make progress with the appropriate exploitation of solar energy. We are fully aware of and accept some of the limitations placed by our topography on the exploitation of solar energy. However, the beauty of the ISA is the opportunity it presents for learning and sharing, and we are confident that we will benefit from the experience of others in this important field. We have committed to making Dominica the first climate resilient nation in the world. We can therefore explore what opportunities are presented in using solar to become more resilient.
Baron said the International Solar Alliance has already launched 3 programs, namely scaling up solar applications for agricultural use, affordable finance at scale, and scaling up solar mini-grids from which Dominica can benefit.
Also have a capacity building component. It will facilitate the building of a pool of local technicians and entrepreneurs and will help impart training in assembling solar home lighting systems, solar pumps, solar mini-grids, etc. Dominica stands to benefit from the resources and contribution of ISA in developing our solar energy resources in a systematic and organized manner. It can support our efforts to establish solar streetlights around the country, advise on productive solar applications in agriculture for increasing farmers' income, help in the design and implementation of solar systems to power water systems in remote areas, among other things.
The minister further congratulated and thanked the government of India and France for this path-breaking initiative. She said the government of India has not only championed the idea of a global approach to the exploitation of solar energy among solar-rich countries, but has placed its considerable experience in specialized area at the disposal of the member states at the alliance. And CBN4 News has been informed that the District Medical Officer for the Roseau Health District, Dr. Philip Sejean, has passed. It is understood that Dr. Sejean passed away on Wednesday evening. The cause of his death is still unknown at this point in time, and CBN4 will seek to pursue more details on the passing of Dr. Philip Sejean. And the 4 students of the Dominica State College who participated in the Windward Island Regional Debate competition says that they are overjoyed that their hard work, fueled by love and team spirit, has led them to a win in the competition held in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Jaya Pending, a second-year student at the Dominica State College who copped the title for Best Speaker, believes that it was the cooperation among the team that generated this success.
What made us a good team? I know definitely our teamwork and our level of laughter, our level of friendship, it was wonderful, and I think that gave us we worked together a lot, we helped each other a lot, so I do believe that gave us an edge. Probably they had good teamwork, but probably they didn't have friendship, maybe, I'm not sure, I don't know, I'm just saying, but we had great friendships going on, we still do.
Meantime, Tari Ansem, the only first-year student in the competition, says that while she is not certain to partake in the next year's competition, she would strongly advise those who are interested to do so. Ansem was the only participant who did not debate in the finals of the competition. Nevertheless, as promised by the main sponsor Sagicor, Ansem was happy to reveal that Sagicor has pledged to make payments towards her education. Went on to thank their coach and mentor Trudy Christian for her dedication. According to Pendeng, having a great teacher made the team a lot stronger. Newly appointed Chief Elections Officer Ian Michael Anthony says the Electoral Commission is ready with the system that is needed for electoral reform, but must first look at the legislations that are being provided. He indicated that the legislation sets the ground for the changes the Commission plans on making. Anthony said once the changes are in place, the next step would be to implement.
Started, and some persons can perhaps recall, for example, that the Electoral Commission would have had a few town hall meetings in that regard. What is happening now is that a critical aspect of that reform program is legislation, so that the Commission, which has to make the key decisions that the electoral office will implement, is ready to go ahead. But the legislation is key, and until we have legislation, we cannot proceed. So that is where we are at now, at the moment.
Will there be?
Anthony further mentioned that the most talked about voter ID cards forms part of the reform project. He said there is specific legislation tailored to the ID cards, which is not yet enacted.
So again, it comes down to you cannot implement if you do not have that backbone, and that backbone in the case of the ID cards is the legislation. So we're waiting on that, and once we have that, we can proceed with the project.
Has the voters?
Speaking on the voters list, he said there is always a constant revision of the voters list. Stay tuned, we'll be back with more coming up after the break.
If you're HIV positive or have an STI, having unprotected sex with multiple partners puts them in grave danger. You'll expose every partner and their present and future partners to HIV or another STI. Use a condom every time you have sex. You can live a productive life even if diagnosed with HIV. Remember, early detection is key to your survival. Be responsible, protect yourself and others. Help stop the spread of HIV and other STIs.
There are signs everywhere. Pay attention whether you're male or female. Visit your health center to get screened. It's a preliminary test to determine if you are exposed to the HIV virus, an STI, or tuberculosis. Some people who are HIV positive also have tuberculosis. But there's hope. Tuberculosis can be cured. And yes, you can live a full life with HIV. Talk to your doctor. Be responsible. Help stop the spread of TB, HIV. Encourage everyone to get tested.
Les moun ki ni TB estene e ben tousse, moun ki en bonne santé oli wen ka respire se vermine la. Moun ki pa ni bon tempérament kon sa ki ni maladie HIV, alcool, ka fume, ti mamay e gwan moun bien sensible pour ces maladies ça là. Moun ki ka tousse ni pou prendre précaution le yo en parmi moun en place publique. Couvre bouche ou le ka estene e tousse. Visitez docteur e ben place santé. Fini tout traitement yo ba ou sa jwen guérison et puis maladie TB. En responsabilité ou aider du bout si men maladie TB et HIV. Protéger corps et les autres.
And thank you for staying with us. And continuing with the news, post-Hurricane Maria, the Rotary Club of Dominica has been involved in a number of projects across the island. Past president of the Rotary Club of Dominica, Mary Oriel Roberts, said the Rotary Club of Dominica is part of a district, and throughout the assistance of its assistant governor, Marvelyn Birmingham, the club has been in constant contact with its Rotary district who are assisting with the projects.
Refurbishment of the Grotto home up at Bellevue Road. We have also had assistance from a number of Rotarians and Rotary clubs throughout the world, and Rotary persons who are non-Rotarians who see it fit to channel their efforts through the Rotary Club. We have, of course, assisted the Grotto home, the Operation Youthquake. We have donated building materials to them to assist them in roofing. We have other projects, for example, our literacy projects, that we have donated a number of books to schools. We have also our hearing mission. Post Maria, we have concentrated almost immediately on bringing relief items to a number of communities throughout Dominica. We have distributed water on Sundays, food, clothing. We have bought individual water treatment projects to persons throughout the communities in Castle Bruce, in Girardel, and we continue to do what we have to do as we believe in service above self. This year our motto being Rotary Making a Difference. Under the presidency of Rotarian Aylmer Irish, I think that Rotary is in fact making a difference in the lives of the persons who we have touched with what we have done.
Also stated that the Dominica Rotary Club is part of the Rotary International, the world's first service organization. And serving his second term as Male CARICOM Youth Ambassador, Eardley Pierre noted that he will continue to highlight his expectations in being a conduit between upper-level management and higher heads of government to actually bring on the grounds what was said at higher-level meetings. Pierre also stated that he seeks to resonate the concerns of the constituencies, which are the young people below the ages of 35.
To continue to motivate, to continue to advocate for the needs of our constituents, and to raise awareness on certain issues such as HIV/AIDS, which we have in the spiral still, where we're looking at the data saying that we're having infections between the age of 16 and 24, a key population which is directly in our constituents. Also, we're looking at unemployment, which is over 30% for our young youth. We're also looking at the prospects of education, being specialized in fields that we need, and to outline the different strategies I think we're going to need to take our economies and take our country into a sustainable way on that.
Eardley Pierre was recently appointed as Dominica's Male Youth CARICOM Ambassador, along with Annelle Luis, who is the Female Youth CARICOM Ambassador. And also in the news, the 2018 Secondary Schools Athletic Meet commenced at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium. Sports Coordinator Trevor Schillingford said the sports division recognizes the importance of the secondary athletics meet since it propels the way for young sportsmen and sportswomen to enter into other prominent games. Shillingford admits that Hurricane Maria did affect many of the sporting activities carried for this year.
This year for us is very significant. Things coming on the heels of Hurricane Maria. We at the sports division had to take several decisions in order to work with the schools, given the number of changes that you had to go through at the school system, and also given our own situation nationally in terms of our budgeting and our funding. We had to look at our programs to see how many of the programs that we will be able to take on board this year. And we decided that we are not going to interfere with the secondary schools athletic championship. And the reason is simple. It provides you, the students, with an opportunity to represent Dominica at the Character Games.
He encouraged the students to be determined to do their best, since Dominica is a country that has produced exceptional athletes. Shillingford noted that exceptional athletes have been born and discovered at these games, one of them being a Dominican athlete who is now pursuing his studies in Jamaica because of his recognizable talent which stemmed from the athletics meet.
It's an event that you students can capitalize on, since there are many persons who are paying attention to the Character Games, and you can find yourself in a position where you can gain scholarships and you can be able to further your studies in whatever field that you choose, but you can do it with track and field as the channel. So we decided that we are going to keep the secondary schools meet because of the great opportunities that it provides for you, our students.
He further stated that he is calling out to the secondary schools to act as the primary motivator for its students. Shillingford admits that a vested interest from staff and students of the various schools does channel the way for success in its athletes. And we'll be back with more right after the break.